Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera bagi kita semuanya. Shalom, Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, salam kebajikan dan salam Pancasila. Good evening everyone. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to present my paper here. And let me introduce myself. I am Nina Silvana, a lecturer and also a doctoral student at Faculty of Law, University of Pancasila, Jakarta. Today, I'm pleased to present my paper on the dynamic of good sport governance in the sports law system in Indonesia. This presentation authored by myself, Nina Silvana, ENDRA Wijaya, Cindy Aulia Fahrani, Muhammad Hasbi, SYAFARA Azahwa, and ZAKIA Fahir Shakira Zulkifli. Next. Okay, this slide dives into the fundamentals of sports law governance within the Indonesian context, where national pride, economic impact, and athletic development are pivotal. Law number 3 of 2005 and law number 11 of 2022 provide a legal backbone that prioritize fair practices and sustainable sports management. Key governance principle democracy, accountability, transparency are central, augmented by Indonesian values like musyawarah mufakat. However, implementing this principle faces challenges, especially due to political and institutional influences that can complicate governance models. Indonesia's unique approach blends international governance standards with localized cultural norms, setting it apart the global sports arena. This duality forms both the strength and the challenge of Indonesian sport governance. This overview offers a foundation for discussing how these dynamics shape the landscape of sport governance. Okay, next. In examining good governance within Indonesian sports law, this slide focuses on three core principles that shape the governance landscape. First is transparency and accountability. Law number 11 of 2022 established frameworks that require clear communication and responsibility in decision making. These principles help ensure that sports organizations operate in a way that's visible and answerable to their stakeholders, including athletes, fans, and governing bodies. Second is decentralization. Indonesian sports law promotes regional sports development, empowering local governments and organizations to lead initiatives suited to their unique context. This autonomy fosters a diverse sports environment tailored to regional needs. And finally, Indonesia integrates cultural values like musyawarah mufakat, a collaborative approach to governance that prioritizes dialogue and consensus. This fusion of traditional and modern principles sets Indonesian governance apart, creating a distinctive model that respects cultural heritage while striving for excellence. Okay, next. These slides present three case studies that highlight both achievements and ongoing challenges within Indonesian sports governance. The first case is soccer governance, which has been a central focus in Indonesia. Soccer is incredibly popular, yet it faces governance issues that affects its transparency and league structure. Recent efforts aim to improve oversight, but challenges remain in ensuring fair and efficient management. The second case examines Olympic participation. Governance reform have had a positive impact on Indonesia's Olympic performance, particularly in areas like athletes training and resources allocation. These reforms underscore the value of structured governance in preparing athletes for international competition. And finally, there's a significant tension between local and national dynamics. Local initiatives often require flexibility to address regional preferences and resources. Balancing these with national policies remains an ongoing challenge, requiring nuance of governance approaches that can accommodate both scales. Next, looking ahead, Indonesian sports law is set to adapt to emerging challenges and opportunities with a focus on enhanced governance, sustainability, and local empowerment. First, there is a trend toward increased local autonomy. Regional sports bodies are expected to gain more control, allowing them to create governance structures that suit local needs while aligning with national goals. This shift addresses some of the flexibility challenges discussed in prior case studies. Additionally, legal reforms continue to evolve, focusing on clearer guidelines for accountability within sports organizations. These reforms are likely to impact both national sports bodies and regional institutions, promoting transparency across levels of governance. Lastly, there is a heightened emphasis on sustainability. Future policies will likely integrate practices that consider environmental and social responsibility, ensuring that sports development occurs in harmony with broader social goals. Okay, next. This slide addresses key challenges that hinder effective sport governance in Indonesia, reflecting the complexities within its sports law landscape. Political interference remains a significant issue. Political entities often influence decisions within sport organizations, which can obstruct independent governance. This interference undermines transparency, impacting the integrity and autonomy of sports body. Resource limitations present another substantial barrier. The scarcity of funding and infrastructure hampers efforts to implement reforms across both national and local levels. This constraint affects training facilities and the ability to maintain rigorous governance standards. And lastly, Indonesia faces a lack of unified standards across regions. Without cohesive guidelines, enforcing governance principles consistently is challenging, leading to variations in how laws are applied locally versus nationally. Okay, next. In this slide, we compare Indonesia's approach to good sport governance with international models, highlighting how the country both aligns with and diverges from global standards. One area of alignment is accountability and transparency. Similar to international norms, Indonesia's law requires transparency in decision making and accountability to stakeholders. However, regional challenges such as resource limitation can affect the degree of consistency in these practices. A significant point of contrast lies in decentralization. Unlike centralized governance systems seen in many European and North American models, Indonesia promotes regional autonomy. This approach allows local bodies to tailor their practices to specific regional needs, though it also introduces variation in governance. Additionally, in Indonesia integrates cultural values, notably the principles of musyawarah or mufakat, a consensus-building approach rooted in local tradition. This adds a collaborative layer to governance that is distinct from international frameworks, blending cultural heritage with sport governance. Next, in this slide, we explore how technology is transforming sport governance in Indonesia. providing solutions to enhance transparency, accountability, and efficiency. One key tool is data management system. These platforms allow for the comprehensive tracking of athlete data, from performance metric to resource allocation, by centralizing data. The system helps governance body make informed, data-driven decisions and ensure resources are effectively distributed. Digital transparency tools also play a pivotal role. Online portals and dashboards provide stakeholders, athletes, coaches, and the public with real-time insight into governance processes. This transparency strengthens accountability as stakeholders can observe and assess decision-making in real time. And lastly, performance monitoring technologies offer governance body precise insight into athletes' training and competition data. This real-time tracking allows for immediate adjustment and ensures fairness by basing decisions on measurable data rather than subject judgment. And next, conclusion slide. To conclude, Indonesia's journey in sports governance reflects a commitment to robust principles of transparency, accountability, and regional autonomy. These elements forms a backbone of Indonesia's sports law, guiding national and regional bodies in upholding fair and sustainable practices. What truly distinguishes Indonesia's approach is the integration of cultural value, such as musyawarah mufakat, a consensus-based decision-making process rooted in local tradition. This cultural layer adds depth to Indonesia governance framework, creating a model that aligns with both international standard and local heritage. Looking ahead, the adoption of technology and continued reforms will be crucial for addressing existing challenges, including political interference and resource constraints. Together, this development paved the way for a more transparent, accountable, and culturally resonant future for Indonesia's governance. Okay, next. This slide provides an overview of the main references and legal documents that have informed the principles and practices of sports governance within Indonesia. I have several references, and I'm not writing down at my PPT, but I will write it down and at my full paper later. But I write some of the references here, like law number 3 of 2005, law number 11 of 2022. And together, these sources provide a strong basis for understanding the current landscape of sport governance in Indonesia. Okay, lastly, I thank you for joining this in-depth exploration of sports governance within Indonesia. This presentation has provided insights into how Indonesia is shaping a governance framework that not only aligns with international standards but also respects unique cultural values. Looking forward, there's a clear need for ongoing reforms and deeper research to address the challenge faced by Indonesian sport governance, from political interference to resource constraints. By continuing to evolve, Indonesia can establish a governance model that not only ensures fair play but also upholds the values of its society. Let's stay connected and continue exploring the future of sport governance, a field that remains pivotal for the integrity and development of sport worldwide. Thank you once again. And wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Shalom. Salam sejahtera bagi kita semuanya. Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, salam kebajikan, dan salam Pancasila.